Whether it be in parties, at parties, or on the bus, or just walking around campus, you see people of different ethnic groups and races sticking together.
It was a kind of a culture shock to come here and see that not everyone was as open as I thought they would be.
One of the things I love about the University of Maryland is that it is a campus that people tout its diversity. That is numeric diversity. I mean, it may be that there are people here representing varieties of cultures, ethnicities, regions of the country, international countries. But it also is about communities that represent diversity. People may come having experienced similar things from their diverse high schools or from where they grew up. And other students may come from communities where they've been pretty homogenous. And so they come into this world with a variety of experiences and then play in this playground called the University of Maryland.
I identify myself as Latino. I identify myself as a gay man.
I'm multiracial.
I'm Ethiopian.
Race, Chinese.
I'm a Muslim.
I'm Caucasian and Chinese.
I identify myself as an adapter.
I identify myself as like an urban preppy type of guy, you know what I'm saying?
I'm Caucasian. I am third generation American.
Muslim.
I'm Nigerian.
If college is anything, it's the opportunity to figure out, who am I? What is my purpose? And a part of that sort of struggle that takes place both in and out of the classroom is the struggle to figure out, who am I? What is my identity?
I love the culture. I love the language, even though I'm really bad at speaking it.
It's just awesome to experience different foods, different traditions. It's just great.
An African American has taught me a lot about privilege and power and how that can be manifested amongst various people.
The hoes. Got tats, you know, dark skin, dreads, beasties.
I like that I know where my parents came from. I like that I know my origins, and I like that I know where my family came from.
What I like most about it is having the chance to actually explore my culture, because I mean, recently what I've noticed about African American, it's like we identify as a culture, but there's not much people know about it as far as like your background or where you came from. So I always have that opportunity to learn more about it.
It's great, you know, because I evolve with the different sets of people and I understand everybody's generation as it is, and I'm sort of a part of that, you know.
I love being able to say, you know, I support the United States whenever I see them in the Olympics. I love to say I vote. I love to do all the things that a regular American does, learn American history. I love being American, but I also like having that background of being Hispanic, having two cultures, experiencing different types of food, different types of religion, and being with different kinds of people, learning different languages.
I think for me, but also a lot of people in the US, I think people pride themselves in being different.
We did a study once that asked students, you know, where did you learn the most about diversity? And it wasn't in a classroom, and it wasn't perhaps even at a program where it had the title diversity. They said it was really in having diverse friends, in having conversations with friends where you had to come to grips with the fact that we didn't see things the same way, or we didn't come from the same place. And then in the quiet of your own heart and head, figuring out, what does that mean for me? What is my identity?
It's very diverse, actually. So I like to keep it diverse. Keeps life interesting.
Have friends of all different races, beliefs, religions, ethnicities.
I try not to stick with one group. I like to change things up, make new friends, and it really doesn't matter what their race is. As long as they're cool, you know, they're cool and I'll be friends with them.
So I have a mixed blend of African American friends, white friends, Hispanic friends, Asian, Indian. I have a mixed friend bag. I communicate with whoever I want to communicate with, basically.
I feel like my friendship does not
race does not like affect my friendship with people or like who I want to talk to.
And I know it's very interesting though. Like, I don't really see myself hanging out with people of Hispanic or white. It's really weird. Like, I'm just more diverse, which I really like it.
You know what I mean? I don't look at race anymore. I look at what you got inside, the intellectual value. If there's not in something, you got something that you got a passion for. And if that's it, I want to hear that passion. I want to see it. You know what I mean?
Now, that doesn't say that in this rich diversity, we don't also find ourselves going to our own corners, right? Because in some ways, we seek comfort sometimes. You understand me because we came from a similar place, or because our journeys may have been the same, or our race may be the same, or we're a group of women all sitting together, or we're a group of athletes all sitting together. In some ways, we seek comfort sometimes.
My closest friends, they're majority Hispanic from South America.
They're mostly of South Asian descent, or African American.
Most of them are black. Most of them are African Americans, or
from an African country.
Yeah, from an African country.
I think it's just because you share a lot more in common, just because of cultural things that kind of bring up the way you're raised and the things that you've been, the things that you experience.
Well, it's very varied.
It's getting better, but it could be better.
As far as the racial climate goes, it's pretty mixed. I definitely don't think it's as diverse as they claim it is, but maybe it's just the school that I'm in. I'm in the business school.
So I think I acknowledge that the campus is diverse, but in terms of openly discussing it with people of different colors and backgrounds as myself, I've never really had that opportunity.
Like, yeah, when I first came to Maryland, one of my biggest reasons was the diversity. I thought it would be more of a mix. And then a lot of the upperclassmen kind of they threw it down, and they're like, honestly, they promote diversity, but the reality isn't what they really promote.
The University of Maryland is definitely making progress in terms of diversity. And you can see it, but it's definitely still very kind of segregated.
So you see it in the food court. Beverly Tatum wrote the book, Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria? And part of that is about comfort. My identity, my comfort. But it's also incumbent upon college to push you outside of your comfort zone, to make you wrestle with issues where you're having to argue your point or listen to somebody's other perspective.
Kind of think there's a racial divide, like.
Yes, and I think it's because most people feel more comfortable with their own people, and they have more similar interests.
Although this isn't a problem by itself, these groups tend to ostracize people over time, and people don't feel comfortable mingling with other races or ethnic groups because of this cliquish nature, which really sucks because diversity is awesome.
And especially at the University of Maryland, I believe it's more, there's less minorities that are here, so I guess that's why we feel like coming together more.
It's like a divide, but you see mixtures here and there, but of course it's going to be a divide with this, like the plethora of people it is in one space.
I see that as racially we're kind of clicked up, or I guess we find where we're comfortable, which is natural. I understand it.
Yes, I do see a racial divide on campus. I think a part of it is that this campus is very large and that people are comfortable hanging out with those who are similar with them. And the first way that you kind of take in an impression of someone is how they look. And so you go to someone who looks similar to you.
I think sometimes it's about gender. I think sometimes it's about politics or race or ethnicity or culture or religion. And do you put yourself out there to be uncomfortable and then come to a place of comfort in your own heart and head about those questions? Who am I? Who am I meant to be? How is my identity different than my family's or the neighborhood I grew up in or the school I went to before I arrived here? What are my own values? Because I think, again, in this incredible rich diversity, you need to find community and comfort, but you also need to find discomfort and identity.
and things. Because, I mean, I seen that because a lot of my friends are white and a lot of my friends are black. So it's like I seen the best of both worlds, like Miley Cyrus says. Man, I got the best of both worlds, you know what I mean? Best of both worlds. Ah. You feel me? That's all I got. It's cool.